Excellent video there.
Thank you.
Very, very interesting. You know, sometimes you think that, oh, I include myself in that when we throw away our garbage, that we think that somehow it magically disappears. You know, nobody really thinks about where it's going. But what that video brings to mind too is that most of us just need to make small alterations to our behavior at home and at work to be able to help the situation. Of course, the question there, you know, what's in it for me? And if, you know, the person there in the video answered that. It's all about, you know, our own health and for our children, our grandchildren, our generation to come, to have clean air and a clean world to live in.
Right.
Well, one of the questions I have to ask you there is that I've often wondered, you insist on the plastic containers being rinsed out or cleaned. What happens if you have a whole bag of bottles or whatever, plastic bottles that are clean, but you have one or two in the mix that are not rinsed out?
Well, that's the reason that we ask for clean plastic. The plastic is sorted by hand. There are 7 different types of plastic, and we collect all 7 types, which are all in one bag. So when that bag gets to the facility, it's sorted by hand. So that bottle will either be set aside and rinsed, or depending on what's in it, it may just be thrown away, may be discarded.
Okay, so if you don't, if the person doesn't rinse it themselves, it means your people on the ground have to do that.
Yeah.
So it just means double work for them. Okay.
But hopefully going forward, what we're trying to get to is to actually get a machine that will be able to take the dirty plastic off.
Oh, there is such a thing.
Okay. But we do insist, because as we are at this stage, the plastic is sorted by hand, and for sanitary reasons, we do ask for clean plastic.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now the question: how did the two of you get into this? I'm sure there's a big team, but you're the ones here today. So maybe you could start.
Yeah, no, it's not. We have a small team actually. We have. I'm a project officer. Victor and I are. So we have 2 project officers, an education and awareness officer, the project director, which is Rosanna, and then we have an office manager. So it's a small office. I actually just started working a couple of months ago. I just came back to Trinidad. I finished my master's in environmental management, and
well, that answers that question.
And I just wanted to get back and do something that was obviously in my field and related to what I studied.
Okay.
So,
and there was this job was waiting for you.
Sort of. I sort of just fell into it. And I'm glad I did. I'm staying on longer than I planned, because I'm definitely invested in the project. You know, I think it's an excellent project, and it's nice. I get to go into communities and you know, really talk to stakeholders and hear feedback. You know, I get to see what people are interested in. You know, and you know, and it seems to be effective, and that's nice. That's important for me. So.
Okay, and Victor, how did you get into it?
I got involved. Plastikeep is a project of Greenlight Network, and I was a board member of Greenlight Network at the time, and it was such a great project that I started working out in the pilot phase as the secretary to the project. One of the reasons I lived abroad, and one of the reasons I came back to Trinidad, was I learned a lot while I was abroad, and I wanted to give something back to Trinidad in the environmental sense. And this project is very rewarding, because with most environmental projects, you don't see the results until a generation, until years later. Working with Plastikeep, I can see the results of my efforts by the number of bags that we collect of plastic, by the amount of communities that are expanding, that are really insistent on getting Plastikeep, and the amount of plastic that we collect that is taken out in the environment. One of the I really like hearing, and really goes back to reinforcing why I joined this, is that a lot of people come up to me and tell me that the amount of plastic that they generate, they never realized. Once you start collecting plastic, you realize the amount of trash that you put out goes down. And you just start realizing, you know, I didn't realize that plastic is in my life this much. And people start making, you know, they get a bit of control of their lives, and they start making choices.
All right, so if people are viewing who are saying, okay, yes, this is, I didn't know this existed, or I'm so happy that this is happening, how are they going to get involved?
Well, they can get involved in a number of ways. One, they can get into our website, give us a call, or get onto our Facebook page. We have the bins where, that are listed. We have bins, as example, at the Living Waters community. We have a bin at the Belmont Community Center. We have a bin at the St. Anne's RC Church. There are bins in the Digger Martin area at the Crystal Stream Government Primary School. There are bins located about. We also have collection points. We have a collection point at St. Monica's. For smaller schools, we have a collection from schools. So they just need to get in contact with us, or they can go on our website and see where our bins are located and learn the steps.
Yeah, and I mean, they can start it. I mean, it's really sort of up to the individual to start as well. When I first moved back home, I got my parents to sort of just add one bag at a time, you know. So have a bag for garbage and then have a bag for plastics. Yeah. And then it was really just to put the plastics in the bag, and then it was sort of, okay, well, let's make sure these plastics are clean, and then let's make sure the plastics are crushed. And so in small steps, you know, but it's really easy. I think the transition, you know, you're sort of, it's annoying at first to, you know, have to separate and do that, but the minute you do it, in a matter of days, it becomes, you know, second nature, and that's what we really want to do. We want to make this second nature, because it should be.
It should be, yeah.
And so, you know, I'm recycling everything that can be recycled, and I have more than one bag, but again, it's just that initial step, and it really is quite easy.
What I think is clever too is if, as we saw in the video, if you get the kids involved, they think it's, you know, a great project and something exciting to do.
Right.
And if you really get them onto it, they'll be reminding you.
Absolutely,
you know?
And that's what we do. We actually go into schools. We have part of our education and awareness campaign is to go into schools and do that. We give presentations, and we have school competitions. Right now we're about to launch our second Plastathon, which mimics a walkathon, but basically it's a competition where all schools collect and see how much plastic they can collect. And so the kids go home
they would love
and do that. Absolutely,
yeah.
And they collect as much as they can.
Now, you want to tell us about some of these things we have here on the set?
Sure. These are examples of plastic, everyday plastic. These are some of the props that we carry into school to ask kids, you know, what can you tell us that's made of plastic? And we give them examples of everyday stuff. So we just show them the examples of the bottle and some things that they may not even consider, but this is also made of plastic as well, and let them know. The other thing that we let them know is that the covers, there's 7 types of plastic, and the cover is a different type of plastic, because many people, well, why do I need to separate the cover from the bottle? And it just saves time at the processing plant as well.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
All right, and these 2 baskets there.
Right, so basically what we want to do, part of our project is to find out what we can do with our post-consumer plastic, you know. So we sort and we send it off to be sorted, and what happens is it's chipped up into smaller pieces. So you can see here, this is just the same plastic that are collected, and it's just cut up into smaller pieces.
Okay, by a machine.
Yeah, so this is going to be your bleach bottle, your detergent bottle, your squeegee bottle.
Right, and it goes into a machine, and basically we take all of the plastics and it creates this.
Yeah. It's heated, the machine heats the plastic up and extrudes, and any sort of contaminants are put to the side, and once it's extruded into this cable, it's then cut up and turned into pellets.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. Okay.
So yeah, we take all of these props and we show it to the kids so that they know, you know, why they're collecting it and what happens to it. And the final product is this. Actually, we make other bottles.
Yeah. So out of that comes this. Okay.
So
yeah, the plastic, the recycled plastic it's not food grade, so it's not going to be used for food. So it's going to be used for bleach, it's going to be used for motor oils and other types of oils.
Now, what happens to this bottle now? When that is filled with oil or bleach or whatever, that has again be recycled?
Yes. Yeah, and that's a really great thing about this plant. There isn't any waste. For example, if the color was wrong, or if, for example, the bottle got damaged while being molded, it can go back through the process of being chipped, turned into pellets, and turned into another bottle. So this plant doesn't produce any waste, sort of. And again, this bottle it can be recycled.
Now, I don't know if I'm putting you on a spot there, but how many times can that be actually recycled then? Just on and on forever? Or?
That I don't know, because well, I suppose it can be, because again, when the plastic is chipped up and when it's melted to be turned into pellets, any contaminants there will be extracted from it. So I suppose it does have
you get less and less of Okay, very interesting. Now I've heard, I don't know if we're doing it here in Trinidad yet, but they even make furniture out of the recycled plastic. Certainly abroad. I don't know if that is being done here yet.
know that I'm not sure if it's being done here, but I know that our boardwalk down at Chagramas is made from recycled lumber, from plastic.
Yeah, so it's plastic
Right,
lumber.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's just another way you can recycle the plastics. You can make bottles like this, but then with different types of plastic. But the recycled lumber, for example, takes types 2 to 7 plastic, which is the machine that we were actually thinking of bringing down eventually. Yeah.
I mean,